All right, I think I finally got everything working. Hello, my name is Brian Tran, and here is my website for my web development class. Assignments 2, 3, 4. My final project on the video, which will be linked here in the GitHub. A little bit about myself. Hello, friend. My name is Brian Tran. You can read that on your own. So my final project is a web application, I guess, for project management. Um, Here is just an example of the GitHub, what I kind of use, what it kind of looks like, and the final project itself. So I'm just gonna go over um, how the app is built. So the app is built using a Node.js Express framework, where Express is the framework that runs on the Node.js server. Um, MongoDB is used as for document storage, to store the accounts and the project data. I also use Bootstrap for CSS, and I use the Jade template engine to create the HTML. The database design consists of basically two different schemas, a project and a user. The project stores all the project data that is created on a system, and the user document contains all the information about all the accounts in the system, including their passwords and the roles that they have. Um, uh, in terms of uh, account roles, there's three different types. There is a root, a manager, and a worker. Um, the app, well, when you first create a user, it'll ask you which type of account. So to give a brief summary over them, we'll be going over the demo later, is the root can create projects and only create projects. By creating a project, the root user can assign the project to a manager. Um, then a manager uh, can be, oh, he's already assigned to a project. In turn, a manager can also add or remove workers to a project. And the lowest level of a role of an account role is a worker, and workers can only be assigned to a project. Further, the worker can add the number of hours they worked on every project that is assigned to them. Um, all of these, the properties of the projects are stored in the database. For example, the root and manager and the workers who are working on a project, the hours worked by each worker, etc., etc. All those are stored in the database. And further, anyone can make a comment on the project page, and comments are also stored in the project schema. So some functionalities that I will demonstrate. I guess I'll go into the demonstration now. Some functionalities that I added to this project management app is that you can search through project name, project description, project comments. Um, you can view other users' profiles, and depending on the type of user, there's a type of hierarchy. For example, root can see all the profiles, all all users' profiles, sorry, and but workers can't see the profile page of a root. There's also a comment system, and there's also um, a budget system, and workers will also have a salary that's tied to a salary tied to their account, and depending on how much they work, uh, it'll keep adding, and the project page will also display the budget. So to demonstrate my app, I will be making one root user. By root, I don't really mean there's only one root user. It's really another name for a admin account, I guess. But I will be making one admin account, two manager accounts, and a worker uh, account, three worker accounts, and two projects. Um, and another, I forgot to mention another functionality is that whenever you do any edits or changes with things, you will not be able to uh, execute your whatever you want to do unless said user exists. All right, so we're going to create an account. So we're going to start with the root user. Um, I like to just use the basics. Give me 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. Had an alarm. Um, so so yeah, starting creating a root user. A root user, I'll just username will be root1, password will be root1. Similar fashion, the email will be root1@gmail.com. Chrome has saved a bunch of my previous attempts and tests. Yeah, let's just name it root. I am root. Rate hour. I don't know. I guess they can make $50 an hour, and he will be registering as a root user. Um, no, I don't want to save ever for the site. So when you first make an account, it'll tell you the details of your account. We'll be going over everything after I create the users, so that way it can go more smoothly. So be creating more users. So two managers now. So manager one, password manager one, email manager one, and gmail.com. Manager one. You can make $25 an hour, and you will be a manager. Create tells you your stuff. Sign out. Manager two. Oh, no. Manager2 at gmail.com. Manager2. You can also make $25 an hour. Manager, and now I need to make three workers. I mean, I could have installed all this information before, but just for demonstration purposes of registering, how to register and whatnot, I thought it would be better just to manually do it. Worker one, make $10 an hour. So there's one. Oh, okay. Thank you. Sorry, it's gonna crash if I have to do this. Worker two, uh, worker two. Set up. It's supposed to be here. Worker two at Gmail. It's supposed to be an email. Oh, so yeah. Say this wasn't an email. I guess it checks if it's an email or not. So it should give me an error. So it's just some error checking. Register, sign out. Three, $10 an hour. worker. Okay, so now we've made all the users. We're gonna sign in now using root. So you see, you log in and you get the details of your account. It's really just the basics. So you can go to home and it'll just display the details of your account. You go to projects, it'll list you the details of your account, including all projects owned by you, and it'll tell you the manager and the budget. There's also a search function, which we can go over at the very last after we've added the project. So now we want to make a project. We click add a project. What is the project name? Let's call it oh, I can't spell. Project 1. Description. Description 1. Manager username. We'll give manager 1 this one, and you can have a budget of $1,000 for description 1. So we have now created project 1. Here's a page of what a project should look like. It tells you the title, description, the owner, manager, the total hours worked, which is currently 0 because no one's worked on it, the budget, and the cost of what has already been spent on this project. And here we have a table that will display worker names and all the information of what's worked. So, and here's a comment box for project created for project 1. And so we add a project and it'll tell you the comment and it'll also say who it's by. So you can also delete the project as a root user. And we also at the same time will make another project while we're at it. So we're going to go back to projects and see how that has now displayed projects owned by me. So I will now add a new project. Project 2. Did I use 2? Project 2. 2. And manager username, we're going to use manager 2. Budget in dollars, 2,000. So same deal. Project created for project 2. I'm only adding comments because later I want to show the functionality of search, in which case we can see searching. I also want to show you that test not exist budget 1337. You can try creating a project, but it won't create it because that user did not exist. Well, the manager did not exist, thus the project was not created. So now the project created, we're going to go to the manager section. Let me look at how long we're going so far. I have no idea how to check time. All right, so manager 1. So now we can go, so we see the details of our account. We go to projects, and now we only, so there are 2 projects, but for manager 1, he only gets assigned project 1. So now we can go, we can try viewing root, but all you can see projects assigned to you by the owner root, we can only see the project that's assigned to us. As opposed to if you are root, you would be able to see all projects. So we go to project 1. Here you can see we can now add users. I will be adding worker 1 and 2 to project 1. Just make a comment there. It tells you who it's by. And so say I want to add, I don't know, Brian. Brian is not a worker, thus he is not added. But say we wanted to add worker 1. Now he is in the database. Because he is in the database, he now is added to the project. Awesome. I will also be adding worker 2. They're both assigned, and I also have the function to remove the worker. He is gone from the project. I'm just going to add him back in. Awesome. So now displays. And yeah, and let's go to manager 2 for their project. See how he can only see project 2 instead of project 1. We're going to go there. Adding recruiting. I'm just going to add a special word so we can search it later. Recruiting worker 3 to project 2. Awesome. So I'm going to add worker 3 to our project. Okay. So awesome. Awesome. So now all the projects are made, the workers are assigned. Now we can finally go as a worker. And so workers, same genre. They can now see project assigned to them and only to them by who it's assigned. So you can all see who it's assigned. So you want to see manager, you see that, but you cannot see who created the project as a worker because that's irrelevant to you. That's just a thought process. Anyway, so now that we're here, we I did nothing for 5 hours. Worker 1 is lazy. He did nothing for 5 hours, but he still worked. So we'll be adding 5 hours worked. 5 hours. He makes $10. He costs $10 an hour. So it'll now display hours worked 5, costed 50. Did something for 2 hours. So did something for 2 hours. I did something for 2 hours work. Now it adds together, sums the cost, still stays under budget. Awesome. And we're gonna sign out, go to worker 2. If you can get the gist, it'll just keep adding, and so you can keep track of worked 20 hours straight, no sleep. It'll just keep adding and everything works fine. So work 20 hours. You can see how much that costs, remove manager. Anyway, so now that that's done, and let's just do worker 3 while we're at it. We can also log it through, damn it. So go to project, orientation, 3 hours. Here for 3 hours, he worked 3 hours, $30. Okay. So that's pretty much the gist of the entire project. I guess I'll show you the last final functionality that I added was the search system. So you can search by project names. Actually, it's probably better to search by root user, but so we can search by project name. If I type project, it'll show me project 1, project 2, project 1. It'll just be able to see what's going on there. And if I can also type in project description. I forgot what I wrote for descriptions. Seems like I wrote project 2 for this description. And then you can also search by comments. So I did some special comments. I remember one was sleep in project 1, who worked 20 hours straight, no sleep. I can also search nothing and only display me nothing. Nothing, project 1. The comments of nothing, and I forget what the comment was. Let me just go to project 2. The comment was orientation by 3 hours. If I were to look up orientation, I would get project 2. And so you can search it up like that. See managers, who it's assigned by. So that's pretty much the gist of my whole my whole uh, web web development final project application. Thank you for listening and have a good day.